And good morning and welcome to another edition of the Saturday Sports Blast Show. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Saturday Morning Sports Blast Show. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let us talk to you today here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. We're also simulcasted on Sports Break Network and Pensman Sports. Also, I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. And yeah, acknowledge me. All right. Let's get started here this morning with our show. We're going to be talking about new NFL coaches. Training camps are getting started at the end of July. This morning, it's myself and Brian Pettit. Leo Haggerty may join us or may not. I have not heard back from Leo, and Pensman's taking the morning off. So just to let everyone know what's going on this morning and why it's just Brian and I. So just to let everyone know. All right. Okay, Brian, good morning. How are you? How's everything with you?
I am doing very good. Everything is going well. I am at my mom's house. Excuse me. But no, I'm at my mom's house, and we're getting ready after this. We're going to do a lot of cleaning up, and then we're going to go on the lake a little later, too. So we got a busy day this afternoon. So, yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I got a busy one myself. Don't forget later on this morning, 11:30, I have to put on a special Ralph Report Exposed. And I am going to be exposing something that happened in Pittsburgh at the Housing Authority, City of Pittsburgh, who I have been barking about for many, many years. Finally, I was right. And now the Housing Authority, City of Pittsburgh has egg on their face. That's coming up later on. There it is, the Ralph Report. If I can get it going here. This is it right here. Here we go. I don't know why it's not coming up, but having some issues getting the media up here. Of course, that's StreamYard for you. There you go. I don't know what the heck is going on, but there it is. The Ralph Report Exposed. That's coming up at 11:30 this morning, right immediately following this program. It'll be on our same social media platforms. As always, as I said, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. All right, we got some folks here on right here. I want to thank you for, hello to you as well. And also, there you go. All right. Okay. Let's get started with our show, Brian. Today we're going to talk about new NFL coaches. Let's go down the line. We'll start in alphabetical order this morning as the season's about to get started. And then you and I will go into our teams, the Steelers and the 49ers, as to what they're going to, what we believe they possibly could do this year as far as the seasons go this morning.
All right.
Let's get into this. Okay, first, let's go into the Arizona Cardinals. Mike LaFleur, former Rams offensive coordinator and brother of Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Where do you see Arizona going with Mike LaFleur?
Mike LaFleur is, I think that it's going to be a different kind of a different. There's Haggerty.
Yeah,
there's
How are we doing, man?
How are you? Excuse me, Brian. How are you, Leo?
Oh, another day in paradise on the north side of the grass. That's always good.
There you go. There you go. All right, Leo. We're getting started with our show today. We're going to talk about brand new NFL coaches for this year. Next Saturday, we're going to talk about will there be a sophomore jinx for some of the coaches from last year? Is Ben Johnson going to flop? What's going to happen this year? So we'll go into that next week. But this week we're focusing on brand new NFL coaches with different teams, some new rookie coaches. And Leo, tell everybody about yourself and how's everything with you today before we get started. Go ahead.
Well, if it was any better, I'd have to be two people. It's just another great day in Florida. we're only going to get to the, mid 90s, which means it'll only get to probably 99, 100, 101 for temperature. But again, I can't complain. I mean, Ralph, you were up over the hundreds last week, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Yes. It was dangerous here. I mean, it was really bad. And I stayed indoors because my health, I'm not allowed to go out in that kind of heat. In fact, last Friday night, I was supposed to go see the Little River Band, and I didn't go because it was 90 degrees plus a heat index of over 100 at 8 o'clock at night. And I said, no, I'm not going. I'm not doing this because it was an outdoor concert and I'm not sitting out in this stuff. So, I didn't go. But anyway.
You know what, guys? I got a special announcement to make.
Go ahead.
Trace and myself and Kelly Champion, our two photographers, we all got approved for SEC Football Media Days here in Tampa, the 20th through the 23rd, as well as the American Conference, which is the 23rd and the 24th. So that's going to be a busy weekend for us.
Well, congratulations on that, Leo.
Yeah, congratulations, Leo. Leo's with Amped Up Sports. They have their own Facebook page and soon to have their own website. They're going to be broadcasting programming coming up real soon as well with Amped Up Sports. Some bigger and better things happening in 2026 for Amped Up Sports. All right.
Hey, guys, real quick, can we take a few minutes before we go on? Because I want to make a blanket statement. And the blanket statement is the United States will never win a World Cup, ever. And here's my thought on that. You can't win a World Cup on manicured, multi-surface suburban fields against countries where kids start playing when they're 2 or 3 in potholed fields, on the beach, in the mud. The only way the United States is even going to get a sniff at this is if we see a lot of immigrants come in, that families are into that, and we stop trying to overcoach these kids and just let them play for fun. Let me throw that out,
Yes.
Get your opinion, then let's go on.
Yeah, I thought the United States laid an egg in this game. I thought they had an opportunity to move forward, and they didn't. And and then on top of that, it's just like what happened in the NFL draft with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had an opportunity, being Pittsburgh, being the host city, to really make a splash, and they didn't really make that much of a splash in the draft. So it's the same concept with the World Cup. It was all over the United States, and they had an opportunity to make a splash and didn't do it. And that's where, I'm very disappointed in this team and whatnot. Brian, your thoughts on the World Cup? Go ahead.
My thought was that the whole thing, they looked tired. They didn't look like they were in the game. They really looked offbeat and everything. So that's just my whole thought about the whole entire thing. I didn't watch much of it. I mean, I only watched that one match, that day, but it was they just seemed like it was off, That's how I think about it.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? When you look at what happened in the World Cup, it's kind of where they belong. I think that, round of 16, that's pretty much like, yeah, Ralph, they didn't make a big splash. It wasn't a cannonball, but they made a splash.
Yeah.
They got further than they had before. And there is no doubt this is the best World Cup team we had. But I like to make this analogy. It was like a middleweight going in against the heavyweights. Man, when you all of a sudden showed up against Belgium and Argentina and Spain and France, you find out that you're playing with fourth-level athletes. And this is nothing against soccer players, but if you talk about guys who are 6'2" or taller, they're gravitating to football, basketball, and baseball. Look at Norway, Holland. That guy is almost 6'5". He'd be playing something else in the United States for the money. But in those countries, that's their only outcome. That's their only movement toward the next level. And that's soccer. And that's why they play it. And that's why they're getting the best athletes.
Yes, that's exactly it. And you're right. They start at like 8 years old or whatever, 4 years old, and they start learning how to play the game. And that's why they're so good. I remember in the Olympics, Leo and Brian, and I think you'll agree with me, when we used to have the college athletes play basketball, and then we decided to go to the pros because we kept losing every year. And
Right.
now, and we're doing it all now with all the sports in the Olympics. And why not? I mean, the other countries bring out their best. Why couldn't we? But we had an opportunity and we blew it. And I mean, but I will give them credit where it's due. You know, they did have a good run at what they did, but they came up short. And
Right.
you know, so that's one thing I will say about this World Cup thing with the U.S. But soccer's on the map pretty much, Leo. It's been on the map now for a good 5-10 years. You know, with World Cup, with the Women's World Cup winning games and championships and things like that. And now soccer has cemented itself as something in this country when it was nothing for a long time. I mean, it really was nothing. And, you know, it helps your team down there in Tampa. It helps the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It helps those teams out because now you got kids getting into it, groups getting into it, organizations starting up soccer groups and stuff like that never really happened.
You know
Well,
what,
thank you.
Ralph? The only thing missing in the United States is kids just going out to play for the love of it. Go
Yeah,
out and put
exactly.
two trees up and say, that's the goal, make up your rules. Remember, guys, when we were growing up, little spitball game over in the park. You know,
Yes.
hey, right through
Yes.
the poison. You can't hit it there.
Yes.
These guys are getting overcoached. Everything is being dissected. Let them have fun. Coach them when they get to 13, 14, and 15. Let them love the game. That's what's missing in the United States right now.
And Leo, hey Ralph, Leo.
Yeah.
I actually saw. Well, this is kind of. I know it's out of the ballpark, but it's kind of the same concept what we're talking about. I saw Toy Story 5 with my kids, and it actually has the same thing of the kids are not playing with the toys; they're playing with the phones and stuff. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
then one girl goes to somebody's house and gives her the toys back, and she's got her tablet against her, and she just doesn't want to play with her toys no more. And then when they start playing outside, guess what? All the kids are coming back and playing with the other kids. You know, I used to go out. I'll tell you this: I used to go outside and play basketball all the time. Rain, snow, it didn't matter. You know, and in the backyard. You know, I'm sitting at my mom's house right now, and you know she's got good grass, but I still played on that grass. You know, back when I was young, all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you know what, kid? Right, us city slickers like Ralph and I, we left in the morning and came back when the street lights came on. Right, Ralph?
That's right. That's
Exactly. I
exactly it.
remember
You're right. You are correct on that, Leo. And let me say this too. All right. It's about, and I'm going to take a quote from Claudio Rosano, who just this week stepped down as Carnegie Mellon University's baseball coach. He's there for over 20 years. He took him to number 3 in the country in baseball in college, you know, in college rankings. And, you know, they beat some great teams over the years. And Claudio always says it's about 2 things, money and analytics. Everybody's so worried about analytics and money. And not only that, now you got all these kids on Xbox. I'm glad this week I heard the story, and I think some of you have heard Xbox is struggling and they're getting ready to start shutting some stuff down with Xbox. You know what? I don't feel bad for it because Xbox is what's caused what we're having right now with these kids not participating in sports. At least not for the love of it. It's all about the Benjamins, right, Leo?
And you know what? We used to call those video games the Japanese babysitters.
Yeah.
Go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? And
Yeah.
this has led to the helicopter parents. They don't
Yes.
let these kids go out unsupervised.
No.
Dear God, you know, mom would show us the door after breakfast and then say, see you for lunch. And then after that, see you for dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, that the fact that
Yeah.
everything has to be organized.
Yes.
I mean, street football. We would go out in Willingboro, New Jersey, 2-lane street. One end, we'd put a trash can. The other end, put a trash can. There's the goalpost. When you went over the curb, you're out of bounds. And we would do that for hours. We would get in front of a garage and play stickball. We would go up to the park and play basketball. Not organized, just kids having a gosh darn good time.
Good time.
I think that's the problem now.
And now that's why we have juvenile takeovers. Not that I want to talk politics here, Leo. That's why we're having juvenile takeovers right now. There's no organized sports anymore. Boy Scouts isn't even organized that much. It's called scouting now, and they're recruiting women and girls and all that in there now. That's
And
not
you know what, Brown?
as good. Now, I had that when I grew up. I had the Boy Scouts,
Right.
So
And
I'm
isn't
an Eagle
the
Scout.
NCAA,
So
isn't the NCAA a perfect example of that?
yes,
You can't make the rules.
yes, the
Gosh
NIL.
darn, make the rules.
Yes.
If somebody wants to take me to court, go in there and, as Bismarck said, crush them like a bug. And that's what they needed to do. You know, you're the only organization. You don't want to play in our sandbox, go play somewhere else. And at the NCAA, once they take that mentality that we are the leader, we are running this, if you don't like it, go away. Once they take that, then you'll finally have some rules. But they're so scared to death of being brought suits against them. So what? You got billions and billions. You got more money than third world country. They sue you and win, so what?
And let me say this, Claudio had to leave that job that he enjoyed because of a parent and his son. Okay. And we got that in high school sports and lower sports now. We got these parents that just go ballistic about the stupidest thing in the world. Oh, my little Johnny, he didn't play second base today and he's not starting. So I want you fired. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And it just gets completely out of control. And, now it's a whole generation of our young kids not playing, like you said, Leo, organized sports. And that's why we are where we are today. And it's really sad. Brian, go ahead.
And you know what, guys? This may sound, Rostovanian or whatever, but
right.
Kids aren't allowed to fail anymore.
No,
you have to have success. No. You have to get that participation trophy. Gosh darn, let them fail. Let them go up there. And if you know what, they strike out, they strike out. They miss the free throw, they miss the free throw. They drop the pass or miss the sack. Failure is a great teacher. You don't want it to happen again. And it forces you to move forward. The bigger problem, guys, and I'm going to throw this out and then let's get to football. One sport athletes in high school. They are concentrating on one sport. I played football, basketball, and baseball. You know why? Because between those sports seasons, I could see myself improve. I got faster. I got stronger. I got quicker. Now they don't see that because they're playing one sport. And how about the parents that are having their children, their boys, have elective Tommy John surgery while they're in junior or senior high school to get that out of the way? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the whole thing. I took my kids a couple of days this week since I've been at my mom's almost all week. I actually took them to different places and let them see animals and all kinds of. My son really enjoyed it, So
right,
yeah,
you let them be kids, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even my my daughter, she's 13 years old, and she's still almost a teenager, and I still let her have fun.
Exactly. Let them be kids. Now they want them to grow up so fast. And I'll tell you what, kids shouldn't have a cell phone until they start driving. And I was adamant with my children. When you start driving, you're going to get a cell phone because if you have something happen, I want you to be able to contact me. But I can't see any reason for a child that's under the age of 16 to have a cell phone. I don't see it. And, Mom goes, well, I want to get in contact. No, that's your problem, not their problem.
Yeah, exactly. And we have this fight debate in schools, Leo, with these cell phones. They want they want their kids to have them because they can't trust school security. And, they have that going on. And I don't mean to get off topic, but that's part of this conversation as well.
Hey, Ralph, let me tell you, if any school board tells you that your kid is safe in school, they're lying to you. Why?
Yeah.
Schools were not built to keep people out. It was built to have people go in and out. And the fact that people can go into like 10, 15, 20 different entrances at school, don't blame the school. That's the way it was set up. But also, don't think you can be protected because I'll tell you what, if somebody walks in that door armed and is willing to die for this cause, it's not if somebody's going to die, it's how many. And I hate to put that out there, but Look at what happened in Uvalde. I mean, a sleepy little town in Texas, and Uvalde. I mean, that kid just walks in and starts opening fire, and the police had no idea because they couldn't get in, or wouldn't get in, or didn't want to get in,
Didn't want
whatever
to
it
get
was,
in. Right.
and it was a
Right.
bloodbath.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this once, I'll say it again. The three safest places for kids are supposed to be home, church, and school, and none of the three are safe anymore. None of them.
That's a sad state of affairs right now.
Exactly.
And you know what? Everybody comes back to us and says, guns don't kill people. People with guns do. I get that. But you know what? We got to take, when the criminals are better armed than the police, that's a problem. And that's what it's come down to, that what's happening here. But you know what, guys? I took this on that bad one. Let's get back to football, Ralph. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Okay, but first of all, we have a new sponsor, a studio sponsor for Studios 10 here in Berlin, Maryland, as part of the Sports Blast show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter X, and the Kick Network. We're simulcasted on both Brian, the Sports Break Network, and Pensman Sports. Area code 410-749-2161. Call Shore Appliance Connection today, Salisbury, Maryland. If you need any kind of great appliances, they have all the name brands. Ask for Bill. Tell Bill Ralph Williams sent you. They also have locations in Delaware. Check them out, Shore Appliance Connection. They are a new studio sponsor here for all RW Media Production shows as well. All right, guys, let's get started with our new coaches this year for the NFL. We're going to give our preseason predictions as to who's going to do well and who isn't. Next week, we're going to do sophomores. That means the guys that got hired last year, what are they going to do this year? The Kellen Moores, the Ben Johnsons, that kind of thing. Are they going to improve? Do we think they're going to flop again? The Aaron Glenn's, all those guys. But this week, we focus on the new guys, Arizona Cardinals, Mike LaFleur. Leo, we'll start with you, guy, with Mike LaFleur.
Big hole to fill in. You don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be the problem. And again, they kind of parted ways with the old guy.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon. He wasn't right for that job, Leo. I said that when he got hired.
Yeah, and he's hopefully they give him time, because he's in right now the toughest division in the NFL. He's got to play Seattle, LA, and San Francisco twice. That could be 6 losses, and that's hard to swallow right away. I think he'll do well. I think he'll come up with an offensive system that will allow them to be competitive. I think they're going to end up probably in the 5 to 6, maybe 7 win range, because in the NFL, you always lose 2 you're not supposed to, and you always win 2 you're not supposed to. So that kind of balances out. But, yeah, I think he's going to do okay, and then let's see what happens in his second year. But I don't think they'll pull the plug on him no matter what happens.
Right. Okay, Brian Pettit, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like Leo said, they don't have a quarterback at all. I mean, that's what I was thinking going into a while ago.
Well, they do. It's Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck.
Yeah, but I mean, what has the Cardinals? What have they done in the past? They have, it's like forgiven. They used to be good. But
yeah,
now
Ken Wisenhunt and Bruce Arians were their head coaches. That's when they were good.
Yeah, but they haven't been relevant. And it's like they said, I think they'll win 7 games, maybe.
Yeah.
They'll be in the conversation of making the playoff, and then it'll go haywire. So that's how I think about the whole entire situation with the, and we got to talk about this too. If you have 4 losing seasons, you might be gone too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's the average now. 3 to 4 season in NFL and the college
in
rank.
any sport now, Brian. Coaching jobs are you're on eggshells. You know what I mean? Right now, other than mediocre Mike Tomlin and some other guys, you don't see too many guys in the business 20 years anymore. It's 3, maybe 4 years, some 2 years, some 1 year. Look at Pete Carroll. He was only with the Raiders for 1 year last year. So and all that. It just depends. And a lot of these owners, and Leo agree with me, pull the plug too fast on some of these guys and don't give them an opportunity to really build. And
No, you're
you know,
exactly right, Ralph. And you know
yeah,
what we can count on every year? At least 6 coaches are going to be fired. At least.
yes,
And that's
yes,
every year. So, and if you make the playoffs, but it's not a home game, you're still on the chopping block because
yeah.
you're not getting your owner
Yeah.
any extra money.
No, you're not. Not at all. All right. Next, Atlanta Falcons, Kevin Stefanski, former Browns coach. Let's see what Kevin does here. He's got Tua as his quarterback that he traded for. Brian, we'll start with you. Go ahead. Atlanta Falcons, Kevin Stefanski.
I think he'll actually do good. I think they'll win some games, but I think he'll stay. The way I think it is the fan base, and you got to look at all these coaches that we're going to talk about today. They got a lot of problems, defense, offense, kind of thing. But you got to draft better than what you got to. You got to have a lead quarterback. You got to have a running back. So I think I think Sasansky will be pretty good with the Falcons, though. But like we just said, they'll see how long he stays there.
Yeah.
And also you got to have a good staff too.
Yes.
Yeah,
you do. You got to put some good assistants behind you.
With Matt Ryan there, I think he'll do good. I think they'll have a leash on him, not a leash, but kind of like he'll be there for 5 to 5 years, or maybe we'll see. And you never know who's going to come in the ranks of the NFL to college football now.
Yeah.
Everybody's leaving
exactly.
because of college now. It's almost
a lot of these guys, Brian, are doing like Jeff Hafley. They're getting out of college. They don't want to deal with the NIL. I mean,
exactly.
Jeff Hafley said specifically why he got out of college, because he got tired of this NIL crap. And then Nick Saban. But Saban, I don't think will ever coach in the NFL again after that debacle in Miami. So, But Leo, go ahead. Your thoughts. Atlanta Falcons, Kevin Stefanski.
You know what? Kevin Stefanski doesn't have an excuse anymore because he's not in Cleveland.
No.
But
no.
What a stroke of genius to get Tua. They got 2 left-handed quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
And that is huge because now you don't have to change your system no matter who's in there. And I'll tell you what, I am still a Michael Penix guy. If he can stay healthy, look out. Because first-year quarterbacks don't usually do well. Like Drake May, you know what? He got lucky up there. Let's be honest.
He did.
They had the last place scheduled. They were right where they needed to be, and they didn't put a lot of pressure on him. They found out what was happening in the Super Bowl when they played a top-notch team, and Drake May wasn't ready. It's not that he will never be ready. He just wasn't ready then. But when you look at Atlanta, they got all the pieces together. They've got a quarterback. They got one heck of a running back in Bijan Robinson. They got a great tight end in Pitts.
Yes.
And their offensive line is above average. So you got everything that you want a quarterback to have. A good running game, a very good offensive line, and a great tight end who can get over the middle. So I think Stefanski will do well. They're in the right division. And I said that you may not see a team win that division with more than 10 games. I got a feeling come December, you're going to see all
it's going to be
4
another
of them
9-8 or something, or 8-9. Yeah. Another 9-8 or 8-9 in that division. Yeah, that could happen again. That division's the weakest division, I think, in the league.
You know what, Ralph? It may not be the weakest. It may be the most balanced.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt the the NFC West is the strongest. But after that, if you look at top to bottom with the NFC South, they're pretty much the same. And you know what? The same isn't bad in the NFL. I think you're going to see the same thing happen in the NFC North, that Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago, they're just going to eat their young. They're both going to just beat up on each other. It's going to be the old black and blue division. And you're going to actually see teams winning divisions with 10 or 11 wins.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It could be competitively balanced this year. We could see that. It all depends on what goes on.
Jerry Jones is getting old. You don't want to wait too much longer.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, exactly.
here's something for you. And Leo and Ralph, you can agree. How many years has it been that I've known in the last 3 years or whatever? I know we're going off the little subject. The Dallas Cowboys have been quiet this year in the offseason.
They have.
Right.
Very quiet.
Yes, they
been
have.
very quiet.
Yeah,
So-
they better be careful because New York Giants now have John Harbaugh. We'll talk about him as we go along here, but they
Yeah.
have John Harbaugh this year. So if I'm the and I know what everyone's thinking. Well, you know, he was all right in Baltimore and all this other stuff, but you know, it's just not. It's you know, it's just a different play with different actors in you know, in New York now. So I mean, you know, and that's where we are with the New York Giants. All right, next we got the Baltimore Ravens. Jesse Minter, former Chargers defensive coordinator. Go ahead, Leo. We'll start with you. Jesse Minter, Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead.
Well, help me out here, guys. Wasn't he the defensive coordinator in Baltimore before he went to the Chargers?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
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 So he has an idea. And I think what's going to happen in Baltimore is Jesse Minter is going to be more of a defensive-minded coach, which means, hey, get ready for a steady diet of Derrick Henry. 22 is coming at you, and he's coming at you full force. That's going to be a great protection for the quarterback. Jack, you don't want him to have to run all the time. But the fact now that you have a dual threat in running with the quarterback and the running back is going to hurt you. I mean,
Yes.
you're going to tackle him. I can remember asking Steve Barcartapone when Henry was in Tennessee. I said, Steve, are you making a business decision when you tackle Henry in the fourth quarter? He said, no, you're making a retirement decision. And that's probably the best I can see. But
that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Baltimore, I'll tell you what, they are on the pendulum, in my opinion. They're either going to be really good or not really good. They could be anywhere from 8 to 13 wins, depending upon how healthy they stay and how committed their quarterback is to saying, hey, I've been the MVP, but I don't have that ring.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I'm going to check out the Baltimore Ravens. Their offensive coordinator is DeClain Doyle, is their offensive coordinator this year. So we will see
Hey,
what
Ralph,
the
you want
Ravens
to know
do.
who the offensive coordinator is there? The quarterback.
The quarterback, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
he's you can send in a play and he may go, nah, I don't like that. And nobody's going to play with him at all.
Yeah, he could be another Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday. At his own place. Remember that one, Willie Beeman? Yeah.
Yep. Make it up, Willie.
There you go. All right, go ahead, Brian. Your thoughts, Jesse Minter. Go ahead.
I think he'll be like Leo said. I think he'll be okay, but you know, young team. You know, let's see what they do here. But it's like Leo said, a quarterback. You know, he's on his own. You know, so
yeah, exactly.
I think they'll win.
If he's on his own this year, Brian, he better doggone win something because he's failed most of his career.
Well,
in the playoffs and stuff. You know,
I'm trying to think the last time that we had a defensive coordinator because I don't. If it's the history serves me right, they really don't do well in the NFL and college, do they? Like
no.
You know what, Brian? I hate to throw this one back at you, but Seattle did pretty well with McDonald.
Yeah. I mean, there's
you're correct. The offensive coordinator right now is the soup du jour on the menu for NFL head coaches because owners keep forgetting offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
Yep. You're right. You're exactly it. That's exactly it. Okay. My thoughts on Jesse Minter. I don't think it's going to take a few years for him to get built. But as Brian mentioned, and as you mentioned, Leo, he has Lamar Jackson has control of this offense now. It's his ship to run. And if the ship sinks, there's Baltimore's fans are going to get a little fickle. And I think it's going to be an interesting scenario there. All right, the Buffalo Bills, new stadium. excitement all there. New stadium, and also Joe Brady is our head coach, former offensive coordinator at Carolina, and also he's been in the Bills system. Sean McDermott got the boot, and we'll see what the Buff Bills do with Joe Brady. Brian, go ahead. Your thoughts on the Buff Bills?
Of all the coaches, I like this hire. I really do, because you have. I think the Bills need a defense, a little stronger defense. But saying that said, I think the Bills can actually win more than 12 games this year, even though they have a new coach, because you got the quarterback, you got an offense, but they still need a little bit more defense. They need it on the backside. But I think they can win more than 10 games this year. They can make a good playoff win. Now, can they get over the hump? We'll see. With their new stadium, is it going to put them, are they going to be more excited? They're going to be juiced up every home game. And also, is the curse actually gone from Buffalo now? We've always talked about their stadium. Let's see if this stadium's actually going to jinx them still, if they make a playoff run. But they got to turn that hump, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have to. And let me tell you something else. Pete Carmichael is their offensive coordinator. So Joe Brady was smart enough to go out and get somebody instead of trying to run the offense and be a head coach. All right. But to have Pete Carmichael as your offensive coordinator is not a bad hire. So, I mean, and we've seen this, Leo, and I think you'll agree with me on this. We have seen how many of these coordinators focus only on one thing and don't focus on the whole team as a whole. So even though Joe Brady's an offensive mind, he still needs to get a good coordinator in there, So go ahead, Leo.
You know what, Ralph? Normally I don't disagree with you, but in this case I'm going to, because I think, and I'm going to go back to when John Gruden was the head coach and Bill Muir was the offensive coordinator. Bill Muir was a caretaker. Everybody knew John Gruden was calling all the plays. I think Brady's going to call them all up there too. And Carmichael's going to be that guy at the offensive meeting and says, okay, here's what coach wants us to do. And that's not a problem. And you know what, guys? We talk about the curse. And I hate to bring this up, but if you watch the show X-Files, they have a segment on there where the smoking man who supposedly shot Kennedy from the sewer, when he's starting to pass away, get old and everything, he goes, and one thing that has to happen, Buffalo never can win the Super Bowl. I mean, you talk about something put out there that, oh my God, you don't do that. And his head coaching position is not a new hire, it's just a promotion. And that's big. Josh Allen is familiar with this guy. He's comfortable with this guy. But you got to feel sorry for McDermott, because, my God, the bad call in Denver cost him his job. Cost him his job. Because they're going to win the football game.
And guess who he's best friends with, Leo? Mike Tomlin. He made some of this boneheaded decisions like Tomlin did in big games. So, But anyway, all right, let's get back to this next. Todd Monken, Cleveland Browns, former Ravens offensive coordinator. He's already cracking the whip, traded Myles Garrett, said, I'm not taking this anymore. And he's cracking the whip there. I'm hearing Deshaun Watson could be their starting quarterback. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Brian, go ahead. We'll start with you, Cleveland Browns.
Oh, go ahead, Brian. I want to hear your take, because I think you and I are going to have the same opinion on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm about to say, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to represent this team, because I think they'll be back in the dumpsters. I mean, this is debacle. I mean, I would, if you gave me $1 billion to go coach the Browns, I'm out. I am completely out. I don't like the whole entire setup. They got Myles Garrett out of there. It's this one shamble after another. The owner is crazy. And it's this one big mess. You can have all the good players, but everybody's getting rid of them. The Browns is just one of those teams where you go in there.
Exactly.
And also, it's where you die. You're done. So
And
that's what.
How many coaches guys turn that job down?
Yeah.
How
I
many
think Leo would too if he got
coaches turn that- I don't think they could hire me or you, Brian or Leo, to even do that job. I don't think I would. I wouldn't even take that job. I wouldn't
Nope.
deal with it at all.
I mean, look how many coaches said before he even got hired of I don't want the job, you know. Oh, I'm in the ring. Nope,
exactly.
I'm throwing my book out, you know.
Exactly.
I think this is the one big mess up there, and you got a big contract up there with Deshaun Watson, and I don't know.
What
This
a
could be a
mess.
big year. I mean, this could be a big year. He might can come back, but I don't see it happening because they still have a lot of weakness in their offensive line and defensive line now. So
what a dumpster fire. Go ahead, Leo.
Go on, Leo.
Yeah, you're right. It's a dumpster fire, but you know what, Ralph? Brian and I have a distinct advantage over you on this. We saw the best of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
There,
Carolina. Yeah,
with
I'm
the
sorry,
Texans.
Houston. Yeah.
We saw the best. And you know what? If he can come back from that solidifies that position. Because right now, it's a toss-up who you want to start at quarterback. And you know what? Yeah, they traded away Myles Garrett, but they got Verse in return and a stockpile of draft picks. And they're looking to the future. Now, is Deshaun Watson their future? Probably not. But they're going to have enough draft picks where if they finish middle of the pack, 6, 7, 8 wins, they got enough draft capital. They can move up and get an Arch Manning, get somebody coming out. But I don't think they want to put Shedeur Sanders under center. I don't think they want to put any of the other guys under center.
And Dylan Gabriel, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I think they want to just put Deshaun Watson under center and say, let's live and die with this and see how long he can stay healthy. And that's the biggest thing. The guy's had, 3 knee surgeries now, Brian?
Oh, my gosh. He's had injury after injury. Yes. Yeah. And plus that scandal he was involved in that he got suspended, that doesn't help your cause either.
Leo, I remember when he had that knee surgery, it was against the South Carolina game.
Yeah.
That's where it caused it because he hadn't, and he can even play in the bowl game hardly. And I think they won or lost. But after that win against South Carolina where he had the injury, he didn't look the same. He's never looked the same. He's not as fast as he was.
No, not at all. But I'll tell you what, Monken is banking on getting the earlier version of Watson. If he gets that, they're competitive. If he doesn't, now they're going to play rock, paper, scissors for who's the quarterback every week. And that's never good.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
And again, they're in an interesting division. Cincinnati's going to have to make some big strides right now because Joe Burrow's legacy is kind of on that teeter-totter.
Yeah.
What is he? And,
exactly.
And you got Pittsburgh with the aging veteran, or should I say aged out veteran, whatever you want to call him. And you got Baltimore. It's going to be an interesting division. And Cleveland,
it is.
If you can win 6, 7, maybe 8 games and get to that point.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. And you know what? Zach Taylor, he with Cincinnati's on eggshells as well, guys, because remember, he was told to fire his coordinators. And if he didn't fire them, he was going to get fired. So, you know what? He fired all his coordinators and ended up bringing in new guys. So we'll see what Zach Taylor does. He's on eggshells this year. I think he might end up getting fired if the Bengals fail this year because he's had plenty of time to do it.
We need to put this out right away. All 32 of them are on eggshells, depending upon how the season goes.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Clint Kubiak, Las Vegas Raiders. We'll start with you, Leo. Go ahead, Clint Kubiak.
If he wins 5 games, do you make him mayor of Las Vegas? I mean, here's what's scary. Is Mendoza the JJ of that year? because the scariest thing is to take the quarterback off the best team, because you really don't know if the team is carrying him or he's carrying the team. I think Mendoza carried the team. So you're going to have that. And you know what? I think this is a throwaway year. If Mendoza sits the whole year, which I am totally for, let him learn from Kirk Cousins. You can't learn from a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. He may be the most cerebral quarterback in.
I think he got cut off.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the software or his internet. I don't know which one it is, but it seems like we've been having some issues with that. But go ahead, Brian. Las Vegas Raiders.
Ralph, I think that Mendoza will actually pick up on what Leo said. I think Mendoza will actually have a good year for them. Now, will they throw him in the fire? I don't know, but if Mendoza does a pretty good job with the Raiders, they can look like they can actually win 7 games, this year. So, they got to play in that division, but you got to play with those crazy Looney Tunes up there, So
yeah,
the Raiders, exactly. The Raider fans are crazy. So no, but I think they'll do good. I think he'll, their coach will turn heads, and it's like they said, what are they going to do, after the season? But I'm looking for most of these coaches to what's going to happen in 3 to 5 years. Let's see how long they take. And you gotta have good draft picks too. You just can't go in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know if Leo can hear me or not. Leo, are you still there? I know your camera went out, but I can't. He's not responding. So I guess he's not. Yeah, exactly. All right, Brian. Let's get into the Miami Dolphins. Here's another job I wouldn't have taken. This job is horrible. Now basically Miami doesn't really have a quarterback either. And you got a guy who, in my opinion, is not going to really work for this team, in Jeff Hafley. I'm not sold on him as their head coach, but, who knows? You know what I always say, Brian? With these new coaches, it's better to be lucky than good. And, if they can get lucky this year and get some games where teams will make turnovers and things like that, Brian, then maybe Miami might get lucky and win some games. But other than that, I don't see Miami winning too many games. We'll start with you, Leo, on this one. Miami Dolphins, Jeff Hafley.
Got another quarterback issue.
You're
taking a guy who, Willis has looked good in a backup role, but what's he going to do for 17 games? And again, I think the owner is going to be patient with what's going on. Now, understand this. If you win 3 or less games, your owner isn't patient. He's going to have to get rid of you. I mean, I don't care where you are. If you're 3-14 or worse, you're really looking for a job. You can't do that right now in the NFL. There's too much on the line. So I think he's going to be okay. He's got to build up that defense. He's got to get to a point where he concentrates on the running game. And again, Tua had what I call Jameis disease. Threw it to the wrong color jersey a lot. And that was the problem with Jameis Winston in Tampa. The biggest problem was half those interceptions were the cause of being bad routes run by receivers.
Right.
And Miami, again, you got to deal with Buffalo. You got to deal with New England, who I think is going to fall back to the pack now. They got to play a first-place schedule. And the Jets are the Jets. So you're in the right place to get that, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9-win season.
I want to thank the Dax Anderson Show for tuning in. And here he says, Kirk Cousins has made has made a ton of money with little results. Absolutely, as one of the best agents in the entire National Football League for what he gets paid for. And Dax also says, I'm paying attention to the Jets. 5 first-round picks over 2 years could be interesting if played right. Yes, indeed. We'll see what Aaron Glenn does in his second year there. So, we're going to find out what's going on with that. And
hey, real quick about the Jets. Have you ever seen a team go 17 games and not get an interception the entire season?
I don't
That,
think
No,
so.
no,
that
No.
is
I don't think so.
phenomenal. That happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, Brian, go ahead. Your thoughts. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, number one. Go ahead.
Oh man, here we go. The Dolphins is a very strange team. I mean, they got the color schemes and all that, but they just haven't been relevant. You know, they don't. It's kind of one of those teams where they kind of win games and then they'll win a big game and then they'll lose another one, or they'll lose three or four and then they'll win another big game. They just got to be more consistent. And you're right, they don't have a quarterback right now. You know, let's see what they do, and they're missing a lot of players. You know, I just want to see. I don't think they're going to win. I think they'll win 5 games this year. You know,
If that, I mean, I'm not sold on Jeff Halfley. I'm telling you guys, I'm not sold on that man.
yeah,
I think he should have done a couple more years as defensive coordinator with Green Bay. But again, here we go. Another team, nobody would take that job after Mike McDaniel got fired. All right. So,
Yeah.
and Mike McDaniel's going to improve Herbert this year down there with the Chargers. I mean, he's their offensive coordinator. So, you know, I wanted the Steelers to hire him as our offensive coordinator, but I guess he's not in Mike McCarthy's Rolodex. All right. Next, New York Giants, John Harbaugh. We know about John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is a new actor in a new TV series here. As I'm going to put it, New York Giants. He has a new team, new atmosphere. I've always said this: a change of atmosphere might do somebody some good. Maybe John Harbaugh can do something good with the Giants. Brian, we'll start with you, Gad.
the Giants. Jim Harbaugh's got a long. I mean, he's got to deal with the media. You know, that's his biggest thing is dealing with the media. I mean, you talked about it. Leo's probably talked about it, but the media is rough up there. But you know, it's rough. So if you can't make it up there with the Giants, it's going to be a rough day. But no, I think Jim will do good up there. He just has to throw his foot down and get into the grind of it again, like he did in Baltimore Ravens. You know, but I think he'll be fine up there. I think they'll win about 8 games this year. So you know, kind of in the talks about it, but I think he'll have a winning season. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Leo.
I'm going to remind everyone about one basic premise you need to take into consideration when you're talking about a coach and his effect on the team. It's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and Joes. And the Giants, and my son said this, and it's prophetic. Last year's crap, what's changed it to not make it this year's crap? When you look at the Giants,
crap.
They lost Lawrence. Yeah. I mean, the biggest piece of their defensive line, and he wanted out. You got the running back who got hurt. You got Jackson Dart, who thinks he's a running back. And it's the same problem down here with Baker Mayfield. They're both football players. The problem is football players get hurt. Quarterbacks don't get hurt because you can't hit them. I think the Giants are fool's gold right now. 6, maybe 7 wins at best. It's still, again, you got to play Philadelphia twice. You got to play Dallas twice. And you got to play Washington with Jaden Daniels healthy twice. That's the recipe for 5 or 6 losses.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting division this year as well. Well, we'll see. Like we mentioned earlier, Dallas had a quiet year this year as far as their off-season win. I want to thank this gentleman here for his thing about supporting us, all of us podcasters here. Merit 34, thank you for that. And the other gentleman who made all kinds of derogatory comments here, Yardstock, saying that we shouldn't be on the air. Yardstock, you don't comment
Ralph,
here.
don't even give him the time of day.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to.
And until you, folks, until you put your real name to something, we're not going to recognize you. You're not going to hide behind being an internet assassin. Not happening.
No, not at all. All right, next. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike McCarthy. Start with you, Leo. Go ahead.
Boy, talk about a guy who's got his dream job. That means a lot. He's coming home.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy is going to work his behind off to make this work, because right now everybody's looking at Mike McCarthy, probably even the Rooney's in there. He's a stopgap. He's a bridge to our next coach that's going to be there 10, 15 years.
Yes. Yes.
Make this work. And again, he and Aaron Rodgers have a history. And you know what that history is? It's on somebody's finger. Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
I thought about this the other day. With a salary cap, you should win a Super Bowl once every 32 years, because everybody's playing under the same rules. You should probably get to the Super Bowl twice every 32 years.
Yeah.
And, we talked about mediocre Mike, but the guy had a winning season every year.
Yeah, I know, but
You're just not
It's been
going to.
too
The
long,
days of the teams going to Super Bowls back to back to back, that's not happening.
No.
Free agency
No.
can end that. But I think the Steelers, again, they're in the black and blue division. I think they want to be, come December, have that 7-8 wins with 4 to go, and let's roll the dice then. And hopefully the guy under center is still healthy, because you know what? There's no plan B if Rodgers gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly. We have a quarterback conundrum here. You got Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Drew Allure. And we're going to find out exactly in training camp where they're going to go here. I like Mike McCarthy for this purpose. He has kept the media out of practices. He has stopped the players from talking to the media, because the players have a bad habit, some of them, of opening up their mouth and sticking foot in it. And he doesn't want anybody to know anything that's going on with the Steelers right now. And I like that idea. He's taking the benches away. No more sitting down after practice. He's keeping practices moving. It's like night and day. I had Ray Fittipaldo, who's been on our show here from the Post-Gazette. He's been on the radio show, and he told us straight up that there are, that it's night and day between what Mike McCarthy's doing and Mike Tomlin did. And if we can get at least 2 playoff runs in a Super Bowl out of this 5 years of Mike McCarthy, to me, that's a bonus. So, Ryan, go ahead. Your thoughts, Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike McCarthy.
I think Mike McCarthy will actually win a lot of games for Pittsburgh. Like you said, Ralphie, I know you're from Pittsburgh and everything, but I think he'll do wonderful jobs up there. I mean, can he bring in elite coaches and everything up there? So, my thing, if Mike McCarthy, I think he can win one Super Bowl while he's there, and then I think after that, I think it would retire. If he, let's say in 5 years he wins the Super Bowl with Pittsburgh, I think the next year he'll retire because of his age.
Absolutely, go out a winner. Go out a winner.
I think, go as a winner, and I think it'll be 5 to 6 years that you could see Pittsburgh actually winning the whole entire thing. If they get a quarterback, they got to get a quarterback in a draft. So they got players, but if they get a quarterback after Aaron Rodgers leaves, and you can actually see Aaron Rodgers might be doing something on the backside of getting somewhere in that organization as being in Pittsburgh. They might offer him something, a kind of job, later down the road after he retires next year.
Yeah.
You know what, Ralph? Here was the problem of mediocre Mike. You were finishing just good enough where you couldn't get that guy as the franchise quarterback. You either want to be really good or really bad.
Yes.
And the problem was that wasn't the Steelers. They were middle of the pack. They were getting a playoff game. They were getting a home playoff game every now and then to keep the owner happy. But they weren't bad enough to get that quarterback. I mean, Roethlisberger fell to them only because he's at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
And nobody said, oh, he can't play. Well, guess what? He could. So, problem.
Yeah, how many coaches, Leo, and you've seen this over the many years, and you're in the sports media business. How many head coaches walk in with a franchise quarterback? There's not too many. Mike Tomlin had that luxury, and guess what? He carried it to where he had to do with it. But you know what? Then when Roethlisberger retired, that's when the whole ship went a sinking. And
And
so
again, they, they
yeah,
they had no way of getting
no
it
way,
up.
no.
You know,
Kenny
Nope.
Pickett, come
they
on.
tried to get guys in the late first round or
Yeah,
guys in the early second, but it's such a crapshoot. There's only one position that's more of a crapshoot, and that's edge rusher.
oh
Because
yeah,
if you're a guy who is just doing speed rushes, that ain't happening on Sunday. It may happen on Saturday. And again, I think when the Bucks made their pick this year and Reuben Bain was still around, I guarantee you Jason Light ran to the podium and said, Reuben Bain, right now. Because everybody talked about, oh, he's got short arms. Well, guess what? That's disinformation, hoping somebody drops to you. When they played Indiana and the media came out and says, Indiana's going to play bully ball with Miami, I said, guess what? You're going to play bully ball with the school that invented it. And if you watch Reuben Bain, he completely took over that one side of the Indiana
yeah,
line. They couldn't block him.
no,
He'd get you with speed rushes, he'd get you with bull rushes. He would do a rip technique. The guy's got everything. And that's it. And one last thing about Tampa Bay. Boy, they better figure out how to get Baker Mayfield in because they can't add him on to the quarterbacks. You can't pay him $50 million a year. You can't.
no,
Right
no,
now,
not at all,
yeah,
not at all.
you got to try to talk him into, look, you're not going to get the top salary. We can give you high 30s, but we can't give you any more because it's going to bankrupt the system. And that's going to be a tough sell in Tampa for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, we have the Dax Anderson Show. Once again, thanks for being part of the program. I am surprised that Max Crosby has not signed with another team after the Baltimore screw up. Absolutely. And then also Dax says, will any of you attend an NFL game this year? I'm going to week one, Green Bay versus Minnesota, and Miami at Minnesota. Also, and attending SummerSlam. Let's go. Absolutely, Dax. I will not be at SummerSlam or any of these events. So and then
I'll tell you what, Ralph, get his information because our guy out in Minnesota, Jim Thies, may be going to those games, and I may hook him up with him.
all right, I'll get his information there. Dax, give me your email address, ralphwilliams737@gmail.com, and I'll forward it to Leo. So there you go. All right. Last but not least, the Tennessee Titans, Robert Saleh gets a second opportunity. And guess who his offensive coordinator is? Brian DeBoer. We'll start with you, Brian. Go ahead.
Well, Tennessee is my third best team, and I don't know. They got a lot of parts missing. They get in the new stadium. I think it's this year or next year, but we'll see. I don't think they'll win. I think they'll win about 6 games, 5 games, somewhere in there. They got a lot of pieces missing. So that's where I'm going to take that one at.
I think Cam Ward will be better this year with Brian DeBoer as offensive coordinator. He stunk as a head coach, but he's a good coordinator. Go ahead, Leo.
Oh, I agree with you. I think Cam Ward will be a lot better because he'll have a year of knowing this is what the NFL really is. You can't prepare for that speed. You just can't. It's not college. Now, college is fast, but this is uber fast. These guys on defense, pretty much every one of them is faster than you as a quarterback. So, yeah, I think the big thing in Tennessee is that Saleh has to win one more game than they won last year. They got to show improvement. And you got 2 guys there who both got crucified in New York. And now they're going to be up there and saying, hey, let me show people what we really are. And that ego plays a big part of this game. And you don't want to go out as a loser as an NFL coach. That's for sure.
No, not at all. And it's the second go round for Robert Saleh. Sometimes the second's always better than the first. All right, Dax. The Dax Anderson Show says, "Keep going, guys. This is great digging this stream. I appreciate that. Thank you. We will be in touch with you as well. Like do some work for you, and thank you, Dax, for participating in the show. All right, let's do our closing state or our closing here. Final thoughts, and how can everybody get a hold of you? Go ahead, Leo.
Well, you can get a hold of me at Amped Up Sports. I post everything on Facebook once a day. And Ralph, I got to give a shout out to my significant other, Karen Lorenz, who is traveling right now from New Orleans to Santa Rosa Beach in Florida to have a little weekend girls' time with her daughter and two granddaughters and her sister. So, Karen, arrive safe. I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
And, guys, look at what's going on this weekend. I mean, you got the last 3 games before the All-Star game. And then it starts to get real. Because when you get to the dog days of August and September, it gets really hairy in baseball because all these rainouts get compressed into the back end. Look at the Pirates today, Ralph. They got to play a doubleheader because they got rained out last night.
Yeah, exactly. It's been tough with the weather this summer. I mean, we got hit down here a few times with the heat. Not only that, some bad thunderstorms and weather. It's just been a rough year for weather this year with games. Ryan, go ahead. Final thoughts on how everybody can get a hold of you and what you're up to. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be playing a lot of since we're having this off time during the summer until August and September, I'm going to be actually playing the new college game and probably some of the NFL games. So you might see me on those on my channel on Sports Break Media and also on other platforms. So there you go. Yeah. And you can email me also at sportsbreak1@gmail.com. So yeah, that's how you can find me.
All right. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. You can also find all my shows on there as well. This Wednesday, there will be no Ralph's Opinion show because it's my wife's birthday. So there will be no show this week of Ralph's Opinion this coming Wednesday as well. Stay tuned. Coming up next,
Smart move,
my
Ralph.
new show. That's
It'll be
right.
your
That's
wife's
right.
opinion. Smart
That's
move.
right. And coming up next will be the Ralph Report, the new Ralph Report Exposed. And we're going to expose the Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh today. And I'm exposing a fellow media colleague up in Pittsburgh who didn't help me out 3-4 years ago. And now things are starting to fall apart with the Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh. And I'm going to tell everybody I told you so. And I'm exposing them today. There's a woman that's living in one of their housing projects that is living in a tent with her child because of mold, and she's already lost a child. I'm exposing the Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh coming up at 11:30. But coming up 2 to 3 p.m. this afternoon, don't forget the, if I can get the thing going, there it goes. Every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 a.m., The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. The Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams. Today, it's going to be just myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, because Luther and Claudio have other things going on today and will not be part of the show. So it's going to be myself and Smoking Jim, and we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be digging into Pitt, Penn State, and West Virginia coming up at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. Please like and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels as well, social media platforms. Stay tuned for further announcements. Coming up next in about 15 minutes, the Ralph Report Exposed. That's coming up. And until next Saturday, for Leo Haggerty and Brian Pettit and Pensman Sports, Pensman's taking a break today. And until next week, have yourself a great one. By all means, please be safe. Thank you.